10 o'clock, sorry, 5 after 10 o'clock and 24 degrees. I'm a little distracted. I've got some beautiful ladies in the studio with me right now. Just going to, Dee, can you just say a quick hello into that microphone for me?
Hello.
And now, I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name again.
Hi, I'm Angel.
Angel, very nice to have you along, Angel. Now, we've got this sorted so that we could bring to you a little bit of awareness about the anti-P ministry that we have here in town. Didn't know that we had. Now I'm just going to get you to slide very, get really close to that thing. It really does love you. It really does. We need to talk about this because I think it's an awareness program that we need to get out there in this community, especially our hometown here in Kawerau, we are looking at doing a hikoi. Now, Dee, nice to have you along, and I am so excited to be able to talk to you about this because I think it's a worthy cause that you're supporting right now. How did you get involved in the NDP ministry?
So I'm a recovering addict myself, and I just was looking for recovery forums on Facebook because I didn't know of any, out in the community, and discovered NTP Ministry. And after being with them for about 4 months, I got invited to become admin, and then we created the walk-in here for Kawerau. Nice.
Now, good that you actually said walk, because I've been saying hikoi ever since we got a little bit of information about it, and there's been people from around the world going, what is hikoi? And basically I've been saying it's a march, it's a walk, it's a participation of a lot of people on feet for the same cause. So I think I've got it right there, to be quite honest with you. And I've got to say kia ora to you as well. So it's nice to have you here. Now, how long were you an addict?
14 years.
14 years, that's quite a while really, isn't it, to be addicted to a particular drug. What turned you around?
Well, I hit rock bottom, I lost everything. I was in a violent relationship. I was using, like I had to use to function, and I knew that I was going to die either by the drug or by the hands of the man that I was with, and so I made that choice to change.
Right, yeah, and believe me, it's never a pleasant place when you're in that place. So how did you get through that particular moment? What sort of advice and what sort of treatments did you go through to be able to get yourself off, or did you wean yourself off it?
So I stopped by myself, and I managed to do 92 days clean, and then I relapsed, and then I reached out to New Zealand People, which is another recovery group, and I started the NA program, so attending NA meetings. I got a sponsor, I started working the steps, as well as being part of the NTP ministry, and I created my own recovery group to hold me accountable.
Nice. And I've got to respect you for that, because believe me, yes, there is always ebbs and waves in any sort of recovery of any sort of drug, be it alcohol or anything else. So I understand exactly that sometimes you do let yourself down, but as long as you stay on the path of belief that you can actually get through this, I absolutely admire that. Now, Angel, are you involved in it as well? Are you recovering yourself?
Yeah, I'm a recovering addict. I'm almost 9 months clean. I jumped on the NTP ministry wagon with the sister here when she moved up from Christchurch, and we've jumped on our recovery together.
I really have to respect anybody that's looking forward, especially with their own lives and their health, to be able to make this something special and stay... more microphone? Okay, we need to just get that closer to you, and whoop, yeah, there you go. It's one of those ones. It's got a broken head on it, unfortunately. So, yeah, treat it like a man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not that much. But believe me, this is a very serious subject. Now, it's not only in our town, it's pretty much an epidemic here in New Zealand. It's in every town throughout the whole of our country. How do we address this? Are we addressing it the right way by making awareness the first thing? What's the next step after that?
It's offering that support. It's changing it from a criminal thing to a health thing. That's super important. In New Zealand, we are putting people in jail for being addicts, and we need to help them and guide them through on their journey through to recovery, rather than putting them in a place where they're going to come back here and then continue doing what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I got a little secret for you. Back in the day when P was first introduced into New Zealand, I know the godfather of P, the man who brought it here, Waha Safiti. He used to be my bodyguard once upon a time. We used to work very, very closely up until the point when I found this out. And believe me, we dismissed him very, very quickly back in the day. I think he's in jail right now, and I don't think he's ever going to get out. I really, really hope he doesn't anyway, for other criminal acts, including this. But believe me, I have no respect for this man at all, because I have witnessed many, many people go through so many difficulties in their life because of this particular drug. And I feel sorry for anybody that does get involved in it. What do we do about our young folks? How do we deter them from even considering this?
We need to educate them. We need to make them aware of what the effects of the methamphetamine does to ourselves, to our bodies, and to our lives. And we need to, education is key. Awareness is key. Knowing is super key, because the last thing we want is for them to pick up, because methamphetamine is so highly addictive. All it takes is that one puff, or that one line, for someone to be hooked.
Now, is that because the next one isn't as good as the first hit, and so forth and so forth, and before you know it, you're spending copious amounts of money and getting very little effect for it?
Yeah, so you're always searching for that first
Chasing the high.
Really, really. Well, you see, unfortunately, I don't take drugs myself unless it's pharmaceutical stuff, if you know what I mean. But having said that, I am a big supporter of medical marijuana and the laws that the governments are changing right now. I think that's a great thing. I really, really do. But do you think that the government itself should be more involved in the awareness of P?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I kind of agree with you, and believe me, I do speak to ministers all the time, to be very honest with you, but they seem to want to bury their heads in the sand right now and not acknowledge that this is a health problem. It's a huge, huge addiction, and to get people off it, believe me, I think there's going to be a huge struggle right now. At the same time, I want to talk to you about Brendan, the founder of the Ministry of P, or the Anti-Ministry of P. Now, he's an ordained priest.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
How old is this young man?
He's 46.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all, actually. But he has had his struggles in his life as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he used to be a meth cook, a meth dealer. He's been to jail. He's been involved in a lot of criminal activity, and it all stems from the meth use. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it can take normal good people and just absolutely twist up their lives, can't it?
Yeah.
But with Brendan, he turned his life around. There's a little correlation here with the Coral Burrows thing, and of course we're talking about Junior Capini as well. And is Junior going to be here as well?
No.
He's not going to make it, unfortunately, because we'd love to be able to talk to him. But on Saturday, the 26th, now this is starting at 10 o'clock at the Ron Hardy building, and you're doing the hikoi or the walk all the way to Prudhoe Park. And how many do you have actually that are going to be sharing their stories?
So we're not sure, but we're hoping to have quite a few members from our ministry share. Brendan Warner's also our founder. He's going to be sharing. I'll be sharing, and then whatever members are able to make it up will share. And hopefully, people from our community, from organisations in our community, will also jump up and share whatever they want.
Absolutely, and I got to be honest with you. I'm actually honoured to be a part of this because it's something that I believe in, is that our people here in this town need to be more aware of what the devastations this particular drug can do. So people, if you're out there, come along, have a chat to us. Believe me, don't be shy, we're going to be there. Come up and have a chat to us and tell us your stories as well. And you never know, if you're brave enough, you might be able to get up on stage and have a little chat as well. It is our pleasure to be able to donate different bits and pieces to help this come along, if you know what I mean. And we're very, very happy to be able to throw in a sound system and a couple of other things. We're going to give you something you can take with you, actually. Believe me, I hope somebody strong. Because
been working
out.
Barbara, when I spoke to Barbara, the first thing she says, when I said, how can I help? She said, sausages. Can we have some sausages? Well, to be quite honest, we've got a reasonable bag of sausages that we'll throw in for you because we feel that if you're having a sausage sizzle, something like that, it's always nice to be able to make a few extra dollars It's part of what we do, really. We like to be able to support these worthy causes. Nice to see the white ribbon on you as well, and I'm a big supporter of that. And believe me, it's a big movement here in New Zealand. Believe me, the anti-violence against women. I don't believe in it myself. You know, there you go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely our pleasure, because we want to see this a success. The only thing we can't control right now is the weather.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we can do our best. We really, really can. Now, the NTP ministry, how long has that been running now?
So it's been, Brendan Warren founded it in 2007. Yeah, so since then.
Yeah, it's been quite successful. Now, he does this with his church as well, doesn't he? And being an ordained minister, he's got a plan pretty much. Now, he was born in Dargable.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, Dannyburg. And he's been battling again since 2007 with this particular thing. But he has this qualifications thing really going on, doesn't he? For drugs and addiction qualifications. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so he's got his mental health and addictions certificate, a level 4 certificate, as well as he's an ordained minister, so he's able to offer that support, help people through the criminal system as well. So, yeah.
You know, he sounds very, very somebody that I would absolutely admire, because he has done something about this particular addiction. I really, really would. So I'm actually looking forward to meeting him. And I see Sergeant Jamal Glassy here also supports Wayne, Mr. Warren. And so the police are behind you in different places. Now, I'm just wondering how they're going to be perceiving this one on Saturday. Are they getting involved?
So we had been speaking to one of the police officers here in Korea, and they were like right behind us, although and saying that we have been in touch with them and sent them emails and have not had a response. But I'm sure, because they're on the same, on the same side as us, that they'll be there to support, and we would love to have them with us.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And if we can help there as well, because we do communicate quite a bit with the local police. They give us information. We try to assist wherever necessary, without doing anybody any damage, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
People's lives. We don't really get involved in that, but if there's a missing child or something like that, we certainly put the word out as much as possible. Now, at the same time, how young are our people these days getting involved in this? Because believe me, I was talking to a young fella the other day. He must have been about 9 years of age. He was sitting there actually smoking a cigarette of all things. You know, you asked me for a lie. But I can understand that. I did that at my age, at his age. I really did. I was quite an out there kind of boy, and my parents, I'm sure they got grey hair before their time because of me. But at the same time, I was talking to him about, his addiction to cigarettes, and he says, well, that's okay. And I says, well, I see you out here 3 o'clock in the morning. He goes, yeah, that's because Mum and Dad are out of it. Yeah. And I'm going, really? I says, how do you feel about that? He goes, I hate it. And I said, so you're not actually looking at getting involved in any of this? And he goes, no, I don't want to be a part of this. So he's aware of the effects of what's happening in his own household at the moment. But at the same time, I feel rather for the young fellow, because he's walking the streets 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, abandoned, pretty much. Yeah. How do we change this culture in our town, besides getting inside their houses and saying, this is something you can't do?
Again, it's just getting that education and awareness, so that before the person first picks up ever, and I mean, the sad thing is that kids as young as 10, 11 are picking up methamphetamine, and they're selling it in college, in the high schools and stuff like that, and it's really sad, and it's really sad to see that parents, because we're not present parents when we're in active addiction, we're busy. We're busy smoking our meth, and it takes hours, so the kids are sort of forgotten about, which is really, really sad. So it's just getting that, and it's having that support for, so someone wants to give up, but they don't know where to turn to. And if you go through governmental agencies, no disrespect to them, there's a 6 to 8 week waiting list to even get into a detox. Then that's 2 weeks.
That's incredible. That really is incredible. Much like the women's refuge homes as well. There's waiting lists to get into these things. Why are we not supplying better health care for these particular people, like the P users and the women who are going through marital difficulties, to be very honest. I really don't understand why we're not doing more for both causes. At the same time, I've got to ask you though, are you involved actively in schools?
So we're actually looking at getting into the high schools this year and doing educational programs. We already had the educational kits, and so we, with the Drug Free World, the organisation, a lady named Alison, who is going to help teach us to be able to teach the schools and also get in contact with the schools to see if we can get in there and just get that awareness out there and just let our kids know that just don't pick up, not even once.
You know, that is a great idea. It really, really is. I think we need to be able to have that that education right where they live, pretty much, and that's at school, if you know what I mean. And I was saying to Barbara the other day, well, actually this morning, that these days simple things like pens are going out of the curricula. I hazard to say that in the next 20 years, students won't know what a pen is because they're typing too much these days, you know what I mean? But I was talking to a young fella, he didn't know what a quill was. So okay, I get that, or a slate, anything like that. And I kind of think that a pen is on its way out. So we need to be able to educate people about what this particular drug does, not only to the family, but to your working life, to your romance life, to be very honest with you. I know a lot of people get into it to give that a bit of a kick, and then find out that that's gone by the by and they're still doing the kick thing, trying to find the kick. And I was speaking to one guy a couple of years ago, he says, you give it a go, Grant, because if you don't know and don't understand, then you can't really talk about it. I didn't at the time, to be very honest. I'm very, very shy of stuff like that. But he also said to me, but I have to have a joint to kick it off.
Yeah.
Now I'm sitting there going, well, why don't you just smoke the joint? You know, why are you spending? And he said to me he was paying something like $100 for a point. I'm not sure what a point is, besides one of these, but he was paying $100 for a point. This was a number of years ago. I don't know what the prices or anything.
It's still the same price.
Really? It's still the same price? Okay.
So it's a point of a gram.
Okay, so that's 0.01
Yeah. Yes.
for $100.
Yes.
Why don't you just have a joint?
Well, like how you said, you know, I mean, I know for myself personally, I would get high and then I'd have the joint to ride it off kind of thing, which is kind of counteractive because your joint's a relaxer and your meth is a stimulant. So. Is it?
Okay, well, sorry, again, I'm not sure about the marijuana side of it either. So, but I see a few people having some every now and again out my window. But you know, the thing about it is, at the same time, can you drink alcohol with this particular product?
Well, that's the thing. You can drink a whole lot more alcohol with this particular product because you don't feel the effects of the alcohol.
Okay, okay.
Boxes and boxes before you realise that you've even drunk boxes and boxes.
Oh my goodness! You know, this is expensive.
Yeah.
How do people afford it?
That's where hustling comes in, ripping people off comes in, prostitution comes in as well. So it's whatever means it's selling bags or rexing bags and selling bags to be able to fund your own habit. It's an ugly world. It's a really ugly world. Yeah,
it really does sound like it, to be very honest. I kind of feel privileged that I have never got involved with it. I have seen some people taking it, but you see, this is not my life, so it's not my place to get involved, especially when I've been doing it for a number of years. There's been so many incidences that you would hear about on the news, for instance. I hazard to say one incident with a guy with a sword that absolutely were attacking women at one stage back in the day. That was basically the first time that I found that it was more than just a social thing where you do it behind closed doors and you have a lot of fun with each other. This doesn't sound like it's having fun.
No, because and also, you know, if you've been awake for days or you're using quite a lot, you can end up with meth-induced psychosis, and then it's when you behave in those sort of irrational ways and do things that you wouldn't normally do, or you know, end up in those violent rages and those sort of things. So it's not fun.
No, so I hazard to guess why people do this.
Because it's so blinking awesome the first time you do it.
Really? It's like that?
It honestly entices you. You honestly think that you can solve all the problems of the world, that you're on cloud nine. You're on cloud nine and you think this is the best thing I've ever done. That's the ugliest part of the drug, is that you honestly think it's the best thing you've ever tried, and you know, like, unlike alcohol, you still can remember what you're up to, and you know, for people when you talk about sex, it enhances that, so it stimulates every aspect of your brain, but it doesn't stay that way. It doesn't stay that way.
Yeah, no, believe me, I fully understand what you're saying there, to be very honest with you. I've been speaking to people around the world, and they've been saying, hey, listen, it's not just in New Zealand, it is in every country of the world. Some of it are different names and different forms, if you know what I mean, right down to the cocaines and all that sort of stuff, and the derivatives of those, angel dust and everything like that. So, believe me, there's been a lot of people that have responded to what I've been introducing with this particular drug, and including a good friend of mine, Frank Muma, from Jacksonville, Florida. Is he online right now? He's watching? Okay.
Yes,
Believe me, Frank, I will send you a copy of this, and you can probably have a chat about that on your TV show. He is with the Latino late night TV show in Jacksonville, Florida, very famous man, and he's following this very, very closely because it's an epidemic there as well. And we think that awareness, not only here for Kawerau, a little town in Kawerau in the Bay of Plenty of New Zealand, but every town, every city around the world has a drug problem. It really, really does.
Yeah.
And it is always nice to be able to start something here that might end up being a world movement. It really may do.
So we have already expanded to Australia, Indonesia, and we're breaking into America. So we have Anti-P Ministry is getting out there. So we're helping people now worldwide. We have 6,000 members on our Facebook forum. So it's we're definitely growing, because we think. And we know from a recovering addict point of view that you need to know that there's support out there. That's huge. If you don't know there's support out there, you're not going to make any changes anyway, because it's so hard to do on your own.
Absolutely, I fully agree with you. So how do people get hold of you?
So they can look us up on Facebook and just look up Anti-P Ministry and come and join our group. And that's pretty much how they'll find us.
Okay, so you don't have a website at the moment or anything set up?
We do, but I can't tell you off the top of my head what it's called. It's Anti-P Ministry something or other, but it's just been created, so that's also another way of being able to find us as well. Okay,
well, when you do find this information out, how would you like to pass it back to me? I can certainly do something about getting that out across the airwaves, and at the moment, I think we have something like about 5,100,000 listening to us on the internet, so don't be shy. It's only us. They're just listening, all right? Or they're watching. But believe me,
now.
well, I can actually tell you exactly how many we have. 5,109,000 right now tuned in and listening to this very, very important message. It really, really is, because we feel that people's addictions are killers sometimes, and I got to put the Coral Burrows incident into the limelight here with Mr. Williams for a fact. But yet again, he didn't stop there, did he? He even stabbed somebody in jail when he was in there. A very nasty man. Put on the wrong drug, you know, that could be absolutely chaos, don't you think?
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, otherwise, would he be such a nasty man if he wasn't on this drug?
Who's to say? But you know, speaking from my own experience with my ex-partner, who was a lovely guy who got out of jail, he wasn't using, he was a lovely guy, and then once he got back on the drug and he was in the induced psychosis, he was a completely different man. So the drug affects the brain and how we behave. So
yeah, that sounds really, really dangerous. At the same time, were you getting violent as well?
No.
You weren't?
No. But I was when I was coming down, a very angry lady, and my kids had to deal with the wrath of my mood swings, and that wasn't
right. I could
emotionally unstable.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I understand that. I really, really could, because I've seen members of my family go through this as well. I really, really have, and believe me, at the end of the day, it cost them as family.
Yeah.
And deeply, and of course. She is still on the drug as well, and now the family, the kids are actually in foster care, to be very honest with you. So I couldn't see the value in doing this, because this is the effect of what's happening. I couldn't understand it at the time, and I'm so pleased that you were able to come in today and have a chat to me about it, because now I feel a little more informed about what this particular drug is. Is it freely available?
Methamphetamine?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's actually easier to get now than marijuana.
Yeah.
Well, is that because it's quicker to make?
Yeah. They found other ways to make it. It's imported. And it's a huge money maker. So
Yeah.
for the gangs as well, it's a good income, and it doesn't discriminate. It's not just the gangs and people that are on benefits. It affects our people that are high up in professions as well. So.
Well, I got to be honest with you. When I was in the corporate world, I used to mix with a lot of suits and ties that used to do that powdery stuff called cocaine, which was supposedly the elite drug. Unfortunately, again, I'm a little shy. Maybe maybe I'm a little scared of trying something new from time to time. But I jump out of aeroplanes. I don't mind doing that. If you want to rush, I think that's a damn good rush.
That's safer. Yeah, very much.
It is, because at the end of the day, you can take home a memory and walk away from it. Where if you want to go back and do something like that again, and believe me, the adrenaline is absolutely amazing. We're flying through the air with only a parachute to hold you, if you know what I mean. But I'm a little scared of doing things that I don't know too much about. And I've always been told, marijuana stays in your system for a long time. Anything else probably does as well. I've never really researched it. How long does the pea stay in a person's system?
So it's only 3 days, but it stays in they can still test for meth through your hair, so it stays in your hair follicles. But if you were to use, then after 3 days, you're all right.
Okay, but how do they test for that?
So
Do they cut your hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I've
Seriously?
never had a meth test, but they take it from the roots. So they can show up to, I think it's up to 6 months down the track of when you last used, and also for urine and blood.
Okay, I kind of would thought of the urine and the blood thing, but the hair thing, well, no, it sounds a bit painful. I'll pass on that. I haven't got enough hair as it is. I really don't. Believe me, under here it's barren. It really is. So I really got to thank you ladies for coming in this morning, having a chat to me. You've been outstanding. You've just chimed on in there all the time, couldn't shut her up. Ladies, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, and I'm looking forward to meeting up with you again on Saturday the 26th. How long are you expecting this to go for?
So we start at 10, we should end around 12, maybe 1 at the latest, so yeah.
Nice, nice. And of course I know you're going to have a sausage sizzle now. Hope I get one.
Of course, you can even have tea.
Oh, nice. Absolutely brilliant. So ladies, please take care until then. I'm looking forward to meeting you there. What time, personally, will you guys be getting there? I think I'll be around about 9 o'clock-ish to start setting stuff up if somebody's down there.
Yeah, so we'll be there about 8:30, 9 o'clock too. So
Nice, nice. Brilliant. So absolute pleasure to be able to donate our time and some of our equipment and everything to help make this happen, and absolutely think it's a brilliant thing to get involved in. And if anybody else wants to get involved, get in touch with Andy P. on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah.
Friend D or Darnell on Facebook. Please get involved in this. This is serious. And we want to be able to at least, maybe not eradicate it, because you never set out to eradicate anything, but just make people aware of what this can do, and see if we can just ebb it out of our society. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very cool. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the NGP Ministry right here at Galaxy, but in the meantime, here you are.